big thumbs up from him. Hello one and all, welcome to Seen Through Glass, welcome to Sardinia. It's an early start this morning, but I'm not complaining because today I'm getting behind the wheel of an all-new Ferrari, the Roma Spider. Now I've got a little bit of a secret to tell you. I'm going to whisper it because firstly it's something I'm quite embarrassed to admit, but also I never know if Ferrari have these cars like mic'd up and they're back in Maranello listening to every word I say. Of all the incredible Ferrari launch events that I've been lucky enough to attend over the years, this might be the one that I'm least excited about. I know I shouldn't say it, I'm here in Sardinia driving a brand new Ferrari, but Roma Spider doesn't exactly get me like, whoa. I loved the Roma Coupe when I first drove it a few years ago, and this is just the convertible version. I don't think it's as good looking. I kind of feel like I know what I'm getting aside from that. Having said that though, I actually loved this car's predecessor, the Portofino M. Firstly, I thought that was a fantastic looking car, and also because it borrowed loads of parts from the Roma, it was great to drive. So good that I actually nearly ordered one. I went to Dick Lovett in Swindon, spec'd one up, got all the financing numbers, etc, etc. So I should love this because it's just going to be a better version of the Portofino M. It's got loads more tech and enhanced performance, etc. So yeah, come on Sam, sort yourself out. This is an amazing opportunity and I should like this car. I've got the morning to figure out if I do. Not that long, about 3 or 4 hours. So yeah, drive around Sardinia, get used to the looks of this thing and start to push on in it. This event was taking place in the south of Sardinia, a beautiful area I hadn't actually explored before, but it was the perfect place to get behind the wheel of the Roma Spider, because this car's all about the romantic coastal drive, a car that you would take your wife to the beach club in, or she would drive you to your yacht in. It's all about holding hands and enjoying the drive, not just the driving. It's this thing that Ferrari are calling the new Dolce Vita, something they tried to launch with the Roma Coupe, but felt like it didn't quite land, so they're trying again with the Spider. It's supposed to be a bit of old school glamour, a car to enjoy the finer things in life with, like stunning drives around Sardinia's coast. Now, not only are Ferrari positioning this car as a way to celebrate the new Dolce Vita, but just like with the Roma Coupe, its design is supposed to hark back to glamorous Ferraris of yesteryear. And actually, this is the first soft-top convertible front-engine Ferrari since the Daytona Spider some 40 or 50 years ago. It's actually the first soft-top Ferrari in general since the 430. So quite the throwback. And actually pushed Ferrari quite hard as to why they made that decision last night. And then they cited multiple reasons. Firstly, they truly believed they couldn't keep the Roma's sleek and sexy lines if they went to a hard-top convertible. They thought it'd be too angular. The soft top allowed them to keep the overall flow. But also there's obviously a weight implication between soft top and hard top. Interestingly though, it's 80 kilos heavier than the Roma Coupe, and that's not a huge amount, but most Ferrari Spider variants are only about 70 kilos heavier than their coupe versions. It's a little bit more. Ferrari said, don't worry, it's good weight. It's low down weight, helps with the centre of gravity. But yeah, it's all about kind of tying into this old school glamour look and feel. There was another reason which they kind of quietly tried to sort of mention, just the fact that by having a soft top, it allows them to add a whole load more options to the spec list. So you can have different colours of roof and stitching. So yeah, hard tops didn't give Ferrari as many ways to make the moolah. I mean, it's genius when you think about it. Well, so far this morning, this car has been worryingly good at just pootling around. I don't think I've been above 5,000 RPM, I haven't come out of sport mode. Heck, the gearbox has even been in automatic for most of the morning. you know, and I guess that's a good thing. It's almost a Bentley Continental GTC rival, a car that you can well and truly live with, a car that your wife is going to adore potentially as much as you. It's not necessarily what I look for from a Ferrari, but it's basically doing what it says on the tin. You know what? The more time you spend with this thing, the more its glamorous lifestyle that it could bring you kind of makes sense. I've got a huge crush at the moment on the Ferrari 575, and I don't know what, looking out over the bonnet, it kind of gives me some of that early 2000s glamour, but also makes me feel a bit like, you know, Dean Martin from 50s and 60s. Kind of want to be like, you know, volare. Should I stop? I should stop, shouldn't I? But anyway, look, it is a Ferrari. So whilst all of this is amazing, we have to see what it's like when we turn up to race and hopefully get past this Kia. I'm going to put bumpy road mode on because I just think in all modern Ferraris just always have bumpy road mode on. It's so good and it doesn't hold the car back at all. It just makes it a nicer overall experience. Come down to second and get ready to launch this guy, which hopefully we'll do. But yeah, I mean, look, it's so quiet, this thing. When you are just cruising around, it's worryingly easy. Slightly sketch overtake, but we're going to look past it and crack on. Now, what I really enjoy about this car, it's like the coupe, they introduced a little bit of a kick and a push between gears. It's obviously a super complete 8-speed gearbox that first got introduced with the SF90. It could be buttery smooth, but they wanted to have a little bit of character in there. And it is good, it makes it very engaging. I mean, I know what this thing's going to be like now we step on it. The question is it more of a split personality than in the Roma Coupe? And does having the roof down heighten the experience? I wonder whether it doesn't heighten the experience quite enough. That V8 sounds a tiny bit muted, which might not be entirely Ferrari's fault. Various regulations here in the EU mean that exhausts in general are quieter, but it's like I almost want like more emotion. I don't know why I'm so determined not to like this thing. I mean, this is very good. I am going very fast. It may not look on camera, but it's super easy to position and place and drive at these kind of speeds. But, to coin a James May phrase, it's just not giving me the fizz. I'm not getting giggly excitement, and you know, maybe the Roma Spider is not about giggly excitement. That's more so the 296 or the 812. But I do think it's important for all Ferraris to give the fizz. The side slip control of these cars though is amazing. I mean, I'm in race, I'm not traction off, and it just gives you enough to make you feel and look like a bit of a boss. It's not wholly dissimilar, this car, to the experience the convertible F-Type R I had from Jaguar a few years ago gives me. That was 575 horsepower all-wheel drive. This is 612 rear-wheel drive and a Ferrari, but yeah, you kind of want to link the corners. It's all about being smooth, I suppose. It's very good. It's very good. It's just not necessarily exhilarating. It's enthralling, but not exhilarating. If you've ever driven a fast convertible before, you'll know one of the big problems can be buffeting, wind buffeting, a lot of wind and air just knocking around in the cabin, and it can just be a bit unsettling. Some cars come with, well, anti-buffeting devices that usually have to be sort of erected manually behind the front seats. Well, Ferrari come up with a bit of a genius solution. If I push a little button here, just below the kind of infotainment screen, boom, boom, up pops a new shelf, which is going to help, well, reduce that buffeting. And actually, I can tell immediately it's done just that. It's almost like an aero device. It's a lot cleverer than it looks, and you can operate it at pretty much any speed, and immediately, well, I can feel the air at the top of my head, but within the cabin, well, it's super quiet, it's super chill. And you can just manually close it by reaching back, and there you go, slamming it shut. So that I think is very good. And then finally, I guess we have to talk about the actual convertible roof. So now that we're in some traffic and going at slow speed, you can actually put the roof up, because of course you can do so whilst moving. I actually don't know what speed it's up to, but it only takes 13 seconds to put the roof up and down. It gives us a chance to see, well, just how quiet it is in here, because last night at the briefing they kept banging on about this sound insulation, and it's one of the quietest soft top convertibles they've ever made, a lot quieter than some rival hard top convertibles. And actually, I'll give it to them immediately. I'm sort of cocooned in here. All new material that they've used for this roof. I mentioned earlier you can have different colours, the weave, it's kind of interesting. It's an interesting look, I suppose. But yeah, I mean, I've really got caught behind some super slow moving traffic. So we'll leave this up for a moment, see what it's like on some of the faster roads, but it's quite nice. Well, somewhat unsurprisingly to me, I've run out of time with this car. I'm often asked how long does it take me to film one of my videos, and I never really know what to answer, but clearly longer than 4 hours. I was handed the keys to this thing at 8 AM this morning. I'm supposed to drop it back at midday, and my ETA to the hotel is currently 12:06, and I feel like there's loads of things I haven't filmed. I feel like I've undershot the car, the experience. I haven't done any Instagram or TikTok content. I haven't taken a photo for my thumbnail. I mean, yeah, I'm a little bit stressed if I'm honest, but I have still had an experience behind the wheel of this car, which I've got to be grateful for, and at least I can kind of sum up what that experience has been like. You know, I know I've been a little bit negative, been playing down the experience a little bit, which I shouldn't, because, you know, this is a fantastic car, and, well, it's done exactly what Ferrari said it would do, just be brilliant in pretty much every situation. It's so nice and usable at these kind of low speeds, but it was very good and engaging at high speeds. Okay, it wasn't super exhilarating and but it was so accomplished, and that's what it's supposed to be, a wonderful entry-level convertible Ferrari that, well, the whole family can use. If you've got small kids, put them in the back. I'm not, well, does it have ISOFIX? I can't actually see. I mean, I could theoretically have the baby in here with me, and at that point you're like winning. Wonderful Ferrari that can be used every day, except if you're doing a big road trip. With the roof down, the boot of the Roma is now non-existent. It was always quite a practical and usable boot, but it's gone. I actually had to leave one of my bags back at the hotel. I could just about fit my camera bag in the back, taking a few bits out that are rolling around loose back there, so let's hope they survive. That is a shame, because yeah, it's still a practical GT car, this thing. Loses its practicality, and I guess you could put some stuff on the back seat, but depending how big it is, then you can't pop open that very clever shelf. I don't know. But yeah, it's really good. It's just not for me, and that's what I need to kind of, you know, be a better reviewer about. I'm coming at it from too much of a personal point of view, but I guess that's what this whole channel's about, right? It's such a good car. It's not a Ferrari in my mind, even though it does a good job at harking back to some of those old school glamorous elements. It's not the certain things that I want. So if you're in the market for one of these, I think you'll be very happy, because I imagine if you're buying a Roma Spider, this is kind of what you want from a Roma Spider. And, yeah, I'm not going to leave this drive and go, God, I want to have one of those, which when I drove the Roma Coupe, if you remember, I said this will be my next Ferrari one day. I absolutely loved it. This thing, I'm just going to go, bravo, well done Ferrari, good car, not for me. So that's how I'll summarise it. And you know, look, here I am in Sardinian traffic. It's just very quiet, sedate, easy to drive. I had a friend ask me the other day, like, what's a Ferrari like to drive? Would I just spin off and die if I got behind the wheel of one? I was like, no, it's actually easier to drive than lots of other cars. Anyway, I'm rambling a bit here because, as I say, I'm stressed out about what I have and haven't said. May not feel like the usual scene through glass production. I don't know what the final video is going to look like, but at this point I'm just like, But I am so grateful for having the invite. I will never say no to a Ferrari invitation. They're the best. For me, they make me so happy. So thanks to them for having me, and I hope you found this video enjoyable. Nonetheless, it's been a good little bit of sightseeing in Sardinia. So subscribe now. There'll be plenty more videos to come. Lots of motorbikes in Sardinia. Clearly it's a biker's place to be. As I say, I'm rambling, so let's wrap things up. See you next time, everyone.